I mean, one of the things that the first day I will share this, when I got the job as Quincy's assistant, driver, you know, because Quincy doesn't know how to drive, is that every Sunday I had to bring all the trades. And I mean all the trades, Newsweek, Time Magazine, Billboard, Music Connection. Quincy said to me, you get 2 copies of each. And I said, why? Are you saving? He goes, no, I want you to read the same things I'm reading. He goes, please read everything.
How great that is.
And that changed my life. Everything. He said, read everything I'm reading.
There you go. And I remember every Tuesday morning he'd show up and get with an advanced copy of Billboard, and he would go through everything with a Sharpie, and he'd make notes about how things were moving on the charts.
And I picked up that Billboard from the newsstand.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Studying everything.
Yeah, but those were the details. You see, these are the things that, you know, when I was in the room, I just wasn't like sitting there.
No, you
I
weren't.
was watching every detail of everything because it was like, I got to figure this out. And that's something that, gosh, if there's a way to transmit this, these things, these ideas, these thoughts, this idea of this thought process to a younger generation, so they can pick up some of these things and get a few insights to help them move forward, because the world is becoming more competitive all the time.
Michael Jackson's Thriller album.
Stories in the Room.
This is Michael Jackson's Thriller album, Stories in the Room. Join film composer Anthony Marinelli, who programmed synthesizers for 7 songs on Thriller, and A&R veteran film producer Stephen Ray, who assisted Quincy Jones and was in the studio every day with Quincy and Michael.
Michael Jackson's Thriller album, Stories in the Room.
You're describing that you need to look for it. That's where it starts. You're modeling that.
This is why my whole first part of my life, my focus was my career in music. And now I feel it's time for me to transition into this other, let's get a little information out to people who can really use it to move forward in their lives. I see Quincy doing this all the time. I mean, his new book, 12 Notes, got that as soon as it came out. And what a great book in terms of insight and lessons. And there needs to be more of it in the world. That's all I can say.
Well, that goes back to Thriller, is that everyone was learning from each other every day.
Yeah.
You know, in that room.
And pushing the envelope.
Yeah, and pushing the envelope. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like there's always some kind of connection whenever we do reconnect, when like we're reconnecting with you, but everybody that we've sort of reconnected with, it's more than just a reconnect. There seems like there's something that we all have in common.
But I do remember, Anthony and I talked about this, is that no one worked harder than you did or spent more hours. Because I remember when the tape machines would lock up and we'd be down for 2 hours, and Michael said, hey, let's go to the mall, you know.
And
we would leave. We got, at that time, we got chased out of the mall, and then the girls came to the, anyway.
And Matt didn't get to go.
No.
He had to stay.
When that happened, I thought, oh my God, Matt, that's 2 hours. Oh my God, he's going to have to realign.
No break.
He's going to have to realign everything. I was like, oh my God, oh my God.
And remember,
the days were already long enough if they went smoothly.
Tell him what you wanted to tell him. The one question, we didn't ask any questions today. This was like a complete flow, but you should tell him that.
What do you mean, in terms of him working the longest and
the
hardest? I mean, no one worked harder or longer than, but like, what was your, well, I know you explained, you said earlier, is that you came up with a system within yourself, a structure, that you knew if you were working so many hours, you had the idea that you only needed so many hours of sleep.
Well, I found out what was the minimum number of hours that would allow me to function clear-headed and have everything under control, because when you suffer sleep deprivation, you sometimes get a little mind fog. And, it doesn't matter how much coffee a drink, and I'm not a coffee drinker. But whatever it is that you do to keep yourself alert in a kind of a Band-Aid way, you know, you give yourself caffeine, or it's artificial. It's not natural energy. It's artificial energy, and you're going to burn yourself out on artificial energy. So you gotta have the well to draw on. And it was that if I could get 4 hours, then I knew I could survive another day, and I'd go in and start the day and know, okay, and I'd look at the clock, and sometimes I'd have stuff to do after everybody left.
Sometimes?
Yeah, Bruce would write out the list.
I remember the list. I'd say every night you had something to do after we left.
That was, yes, after the project got rolling. But there were those times when I said, okay, I know I can get this much done now. And there was the thing when we had 2 studios running. And one studio, Bruce would start earlier in the day. I'm talking now the last couple weeks. Bruce would start earlier in the day. Umberto would have a slightly later start time, and then he would run later at night. So I would know, okay, there's going to be a couple hours of open studio time here, and there's going to be a couple open hours of studio time there, so I can do these other things.
Like what? Like go to the bathroom? You didn't. I mean, Steven said that he was never there when you weren't there.
You were there.
Well, no, I had to be there. I was unfortunate. I was like a piece of equipment. The session wouldn't happen.
I think I literally can count on one hand the amount of times you took a break to go to the bathroom. I remember. No, that didn't happen.
What
you went
I
to the
would do
kitchen
is
to get some water or something.
I would combine that with,
it.
we need something from the tape locker.
Right.
So I would combine it with walking down the hallway to go to the tape locker.
Right.
No, but that's just time management. I mean,
Love.
yeah.
Let's not beat around the bush.
no.
Yeah. It's not like these clever little systems. If you didn't love it, you wouldn't have done it the way you did
If
it.
I didn't love it, I wouldn't have ever been there. I wouldn't have devoted all the years prior to that working to get to that point. And that's why I say I love music to this day. I love sitting down in front of the equipment and having, I got to make this work. The challenge of making, and sometimes when it's not right, you know, I've got to change hats, and I've got to do arranging, I've got to do producing, I got to call up somebody. No, you got to do this here, and you got to do that there, and then I can put that, and I can edit it, and then it will be what it needs to be.
Join us for the next episode of Michael Jackson's Thriller album, Stories in the Room, with your hosts, Anthony Marinelli and Stephen Ray. Watch our extended interviews on youtube.com/@StoriesInTheRoom. Audio-only interviews are available on all podcast networks. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok @StoriesInTheRoom. For the latest news and links, visit the website, storiesintheroom.com. This podcast is produced by Christian D. Bruun and David Wolf, recorded by Audivita Studios. Additional recording by Ben Rackless. Edited by Jay Spang and Sean Hedinger. Music by Anthony Marinelli and Stephen Ray.
Michael Jackson's